Hey there, friends. Today we're diving into something really close to my heart: how we can live our best lives as we get older, especially past that big milestone of 85. Now, I know that sounds like a big number, and it is. But here's the thing: not everyone makes it there, and a lot of it comes down to the choices we make every day between, say, 75 and 85. Those years? They're like the golden ticket to either thriving with energy and joy or facing a tougher road. And trust me, I want you to stick around to the end of this, because number 8 on our list? It's something so many of us overlook, and it's extremely important, especially for us older folks. I'll tell you about my neighbor Tom, from down in Florida, later on. He was 79, full of life, until he ignored this one thing, and sadly, it was too late when he realized. Breaks my heart every time I think about it. Before we get rolling, I'd be so grateful if you'd give this video a thumbs up. It helps me share these golden nuggets with more folks like us who deserve to know this stuff. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button and tap the bell. It'll make sure you don't miss a single tip. Oh, and if you're loving this, drop a 1 in the comments. If it's not your cup of tea, a 0 works too. I'd love to know how to make it better for you. Alright, let's get started. First up, don't push yourself too hard. I know, we've spent our whole lives being tough, right? Raising kids, working long hours, keeping the house running. But as we get older, like my friend Betty, who's 77 and lives up in Oregon, our bodies change. Betty used to haul firewood into her cabin every winter, proud as can be. She'd say, "I've been doing this since I was 40. I'm not stopping now." But one day, she overdid it, strained her back so bad she couldn't get out of bed for a week. The doctor told her she was lucky it wasn't worse, like a heart scare or a broken hip. See, our muscles aren't as strong as they used to be, our joints get creaky, and our hearts? They're working hard enough without us piling on extra stress. I get it, it's tough to admit we can't do everything we used to. But here's a little story that stuck with me. My Uncle Joe, bless him, was 80 and still mowing his huge lawn in Texas heat. One afternoon, he got dizzy, fell, and ended up with a sprained ankle. Could have been a lot worse, like a stroke, which the doc said was a real risk. That's when he started listening to his body. Now, he sticks to gentle stuff, walking around the block, a little stretching in the morning, even some chair exercises while watching TV. And you know what? He feels better than ever. So, what can we do? Keep moving, but keep it easy. A nice stroll in the park, maybe some swimming if you've got a pool nearby, or even yoga you can do sitting down. If you're tired, take a break, grab a glass of water, sit a spell. And if something feels too big, like moving that heavy planter on the porch, ask a grandkid or a neighbor to lend a hand. It's not giving up, it's being smart. Even mental strain counts. Don't overload yourself with worries or too many yes to every favor. Balance is the name of the game, and it'll keep you feeling spry and happy. So let's talk about food, because oh boy, does it matter as we get older. What we put on our plates can either give us a boost or drag us down, especially past 75. Our bodies aren't digesting like they used to. I mean, remember when we could eat a whole pizza and bounce back the next day? Those days are a little behind us now, and that's okay. But it means we've got to be extra thoughtful about what we eat. Take my friend Clara, who's 78 and lives over in Colorado. She used to love her fried chicken and soda, said it reminded her of Sunday dinners growing up. But a couple years back, her doctor sat her down and said, "Clara, your blood pressure's climbing, and all that salt and fat? It's not doing you any favors." She didn't change a thing at first, until she started feeling so tired she could barely get through her knitting group. That was her wake-up call. See, eating too much of the wrong stuff, like greasy fries, sugary treats, or those salty chips we sneak late at night, can pile on the pounds, zap our energy, and even bring on big problems like heart trouble or diabetes. I've seen it happen. My cousin Ed in Ohio? He was 81, loved his burgers and shakes, but ignored the warning signs. Next thing we knew, He was in the hospital with a diabetes scare that could have been avoided. It's tough to hear, but it's true. Those little indulgences add up, especially when our bodies can't handle them like before. So, what's the fix? Let's load up on the good stuff. Picture this: half your plate filled with colorful veggies and fruits. Think carrots, spinach, maybe some sweet berries. They're packed with vitamins and fiber that keep us going strong. Then add some lean protein, grilled fish, a piece of chicken without the skin, or even beans if you're feeling plant-based. My neighbor Sam, 76, swears by his black bean chili. It keeps him full and his muscles happy. And don't skip the whole grains, brown rice, oats, or a slice of hearty wheat bread. They're like slow-burning fuel, keeping you steady all day. Here's a trick I've picked up: smaller meals more often. Our metabolism's not racing anymore, so big heavy plates can leave us sluggish. I like to split things up, maybe some yogurt with fruit in the morning, a light salad at lunch, then a little chicken and veggies later. Keeps me from feeling stuffed. Oh, and water, don't forget it. I know it's easy to skip when we don't feel thirsty like we used to, but dehydration sneaks up fast. Clara started carrying a water bottle after her scare, and she says it's like night and day. She's got energy again. If plain water's boring, toss in a slice of lemon, or try a cozy herbal tea. One last thing, go easy on the booze and coffee. A glass of wine now and then? Sure. But too much can mess with your sleep and dry you out. Same with caffeine, keeps you jittery when you need calm. Balance is everything, and trust me, your body will thank you. Chat with your doctor if you're not sure what's best for you. They'll steer you right. Food's our fuel, friends. Let's make it the good kind. Now let's get moving, literally. Staying active is one of the best gifts we can give ourselves as we age. It's not about running marathons or lifting heavy weights. Those days might be behind us. But keeping our bodies in motion keeps us strong, happy, and sharp. I can't tell you how much it's helped my friend Margaret, who's 79 and lives out in Arizona. She used to sit around all day after retiring, watching TV and nibbling snacks. But then she started feeling stiff, her knees ached, and she'd get winded just walking to the mailbox. One day, her daughter dragged her to a senior walking group. Margaret grumbled the whole way there, but after a few weeks, she was hooked. She told me, "I feel like I've got my spark back." Now she's out there 3 times a week, chatting with friends while they stroll, and her aches? Way better. That's the magic of moving. It doesn't have to be fancy. Our bodies love it when we keep them flexible and strong, and our minds get a boost too. Think about it. A little walk around the neighborhood gets your heart pumping, some stretching keeps those joints from locking up, and it even helps you sleep like a baby. I've got a buddy, Henry, 82, from up in Maine. He had a nasty fall a while back, tripped on his porch steps because his balance wasn't what it used to be. Scared him silly, and he ended up with a bruised hip. After that, he started doing Tai Chi with a group at the community center. It's slow, gentle, and he says it's like a secret weapon. He hasn't tumbled since, and he feels steadier on his feet. So, what can we do? Walking's a great start. Grab a friend or pop in some earbuds with your favorite tunes. If you're near water, swimming's a dream. It's easy on the joints and works everything. I know folks with arthritis who swear by it. Or try some yoga. There's even stuff you can do in a chair if standing's tough. My cousin Lila, 77, started light strength training with little dumbbells after her doctor said her muscles were shrinking. She was worried she'd end up frail, but now she's lifting grocery bags like a champ. Even stretching counts. 5 minutes in the morning can loosen you up and chase away that stiffness. The best part? It's not just about your body. Moving lifts your spirits. Those endorphins kick in, and suddenly the day feels brighter. Margaret says her walks cut her stress in half, and Henry's convinced his Tai Chi keeps his memory sharp. Science backs that up. Regular activity gets blood flowing to your brain, maybe even holding off those foggy moments we all dread. If you're not sure where to start, check with your doc. They'll point you to what's safe. Maybe join a class or rope in a pal to keep it fun. Even 10 minutes a day adds up. Think of it as a little love note to yourself. Oh, and don't overdo it. Remember what we said about pushing too hard. Keep it gentle, listen to your body, and you'll feel the difference. Margaret's glowing these days, and Henry's bragging about his balance. It's never too late to get going, friends. Your body's ready to thank you. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's just as important as keeping our bodies moving, our minds. Taking care of how we feel inside can make all the difference as we get older. Stress, loneliness, those heavy days, they sneak up on us, and if we're not careful, they can wear us down more than we realize. I saw it with my friend Doris Sadie, from down in Georgia. She'd always been the life of the party, but after her husband passed, she started pulling back. Stopped going to bingo, didn't call her kids as much. Next thing you know, she was feeling blue all the time, and her blood pressure shot up. Her doctor said it straight. Doris, your heart's taking a hit from all this stress. That was her turning point. She knew she had to find a way to lift her spirits. It's not just talk, those tough feelings can mess with us physically. Stress can weaken your immune system, spike your blood pressure, even make your heart work harder than it should. And loneliness? It's a quiet thief. I had an old pal, Frank, up in Wisconsin. He was 78, lived alone after his kids moved away. He'd sit in his recliner all day, no one to talk to, and his memory started slipping fast. Docs told him later that isolation was speeding up the fog in his head. Could have been dementia creeping in. Broke my heart to see him fade like that, but it taught me something big. We've got to keep our hearts and minds engaged. So, how do we do it? First, let's stay connected. Doris started small, invited her neighbor over for tea, joined a book club at the library. She said it was like waking up again. Having folks to laugh with gave her a reason to get out of bed. Call a friend, chat with your grandkids, or even join a group, maybe a gardening club or a church circle. It's not about being busy, it's about feeling like you belong. And then there's the little things that light you up. Frank's sister got him a puzzle book after his rough patch, and he'd spend hours on it, kept his mind ticking and gave him something to smile about. Me? I love sitting on my porch with a cup of tea, watching the birds. It's my calm spot. If stress is piling up, try this. Take a deep breath, hold it for a sec, let it go slow. Do it a few times, it's like hitting reset. Doris swears by her morning meditation now, just 5 minutes of quiet, and it keeps her steady. Even a walk in the park or petting your dog can melt the tension away. And if it's too much, those days where you can't shake the gray, talk to someone. A friend, your pastor, even a counselor. There's no shame in it. I know a lady, Sue, 76, who started a senior support group near me in California. She'd been battling anxiety, and sharing with others pulled her out of it. She's thriving now. We've got to nurture ourselves, friends. A happy mind keeps us strong, helps us fight off colds, sleep better, even enjoy our days more. Doris is back to her old self, laughing at bingo again, and it's beautiful to see. So, find your joy, lean on your people, and don't let the heavy stuff win. You're worth it. Let's keep the good vibes going and talk about something that ties right into our last chat, staying connected with folks around us. Loneliness is a real sneaky troublemaker as we get older, and it's not just about feeling a little down. It can hit us hard, body and soul. I saw it up close with my friend Leroy, 81, from out in Nevada. After his wife passed, he didn't want to bother anyone, thought he'd be fine on his own. He'd sit in his trailer, just him and the TV, day after day. But then his daughter noticed he wasn't eating right, his blood pressure was all over the place, and he seemed lost. Docs told her later that being so alone was tanking his health, linked to heart issues and even a faster slide into memory trouble. It was a wake-up call for all of us who knew him. That's the thing. Going it solo too much can creep up on you. Studies say it jacks up your chances of feeling anxious, blue, or even dealing with bigger stuff like high blood pressure. I had another pal, Ellen, 79, from New Jersey. She used to be a social butterfly, but after retiring, she stopped going out. Said she didn't want to be a burden. Next thing you know, she's telling me she's forgetting things, feeling foggy. Her son got her to a doctor, and they said isolation was part of it. Her brain wasn't getting that spark from talking and laughing with people. It's wild how much we need each other, isn't it? So, let's not let loneliness win. Reach out, it doesn't have to be big. Lyra's daughter got him on the phone with his old fishing buddies, and now they chat every week. He even started going to a veterans coffee meetup, says it's like having a crew again. Pick up the phone, call your sister, or wave to the neighbor next door. If you're up for it, find a group. Ellen joined a knitting circle at her local library, and she's got new friends to swap stories with. It's not about filling every minute, it's about feeling tied to something, someone. And hey, technology's a lifesaver here. My cousin Ruth, 77, lives way out in Idaho, miles from her kids. She learned to video chat, grumbled about it at first, but now she's showing off her grandkids' drawings like a pro. You don't have to be a tech whiz, email, a quick text, even joining an online group for folks who love the same stuff you do, like gardening or old movies. It's a bridge when distance keeps you apart. Lyra's even on some apps swapping fishtails with guys across the country, keeps him grinning. If it's tough to get started, don't be shy about asking for help. Ellen's son dragged her to that first knitting meetup, and she's glad he did. There's senior centers, church groups, even little gatherings at the park, places where you can just show up and be yourself. It's not about being the loudest in the room, it's about being there. Lyra's back to his old self, cracking jokes again, and Ellen's got her spark back. Staying connected keeps us alive, inside and out. So grab a friend, make a call, step out a little. You've got so much to share, and we need you around. Alright, let's talk dollars and cents, because keeping our finances in check can make these golden years a whole lot sweeter. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but trust me, it's a game changer for staying stress-free and comfy as we age. Take my old friend Mabel, 82, from out in Tennessee. She worked hard her whole life, raised 3 kids, but never really thought about what had happened when the paychecks stopped. A few years back, she got hit with a big medical bill, new hip, unexpected, and suddenly she's scrambling, dipping into savings she didn't have much of. She told me, "I wish I'd planned better. I'm too old to be worrying like this." It was tough to see her so frazzled, and it got me thinking about how we can avoid that mess. See, as we get older, we're not earning like we used to, and stuff like doctor visits or fixing the roof can sneak up fast. Without a plan, it's easy to feel stuck. I had a neighbor, Carl, 78, up in Minnesota. He retired with a decent pension, but he didn't watch his spending, loved treating the grandkids to fancy dinners and trips. Then his car broke down, and bam, he's stressed out, borrowing from his son to cover it. That's when he realized he needed a better grip on his money. Stress like that? It's not just a headache, it can keep you up at night, mess with your health. We don't want that, right? So, here's the good news, we can take control. Start by figuring out what's coming in, Social Security, maybe a pension, whatever savings you've tucked away. Mabel's daughter helped her sit down and list it all out, and it gave her some peace just knowing the numbers. Then, make a budget. Sounds boring, but it's like a roadmap. Put the must-haves first: rent, groceries, your pills. Carl started tracking his monthly bills, cut back on extras, and now he's got a little cushion. It's not about pinching every penny, it's about making sure you're covered. And don't sleep on health costs, they climb as we go. Medicare's great, but it doesn't catch everything. My cousin Vera, 76, got herself a supplemental plan after a scare with her knee. It saved her thousands when she needed therapy. Think about an emergency fund too. Stick some cash aside for surprises, like when the fridge dies or you need a new pair of glasses. Carl wishes he'd done that before his car trouble hit. Oh, and watch out for scams. Folks love targeting us seniors. Mabel almost fell for a phone trick promising free money. Luckily, she checked with her son first. If something sounds too good, run it by someone you trust. Planning early means freedom later. Vera's loving her days now, no money worries, even takes a painting class. Carl's back to spoiling his grandkids, just smarter about it. It's about keeping your dignity, staying independent, not leaning too hard on the kids. Chat with a financial advisor if you can, they'll tailor it to you. We've worked too hard to let money stress steal our joy, so let's set ourselves up right. You deserve that peace, friends. Let's keep rolling with something super practical, checking in with the doc regularly. It's like a tune-up for your car, but for you. Catching stuff early can save us a lot of trouble. My pal George, 80, from Texas, learned this the hard way. He skipped his checkups for years, felt fine, didn't see the point. Then one day, he's dizzy, turns out his blood pressure was sky high. Could have been a stroke if he'd waited longer. Now he's religious about his visits, says it's why he's still kicking. Stuff like cholesterol tests, eye exams, even flu shots, they spot problems before they blow up. Don't ignore little signs either. George wishes he'd paid attention sooner. It keeps us independent friends, worth every minute. Next up, keeping a sunny outlook. Your mind's a powerhouse, and staying positive can carry you far. Take my Aunt Rose, 83, in Florida. She's had her share of aches, but she's always smiling, says she focuses on what she can do, not what's gone. Studies back her up. Optimists live longer, bounce back better. Rose keeps a little gratitude list, her coffee, her cat, a call from her grandson. It's simple, but it shifts everything. Find your joy, gardening, a good book, whatever lights you up. It's like fuel for your soul, and it keeps you eating right and moving too. Rose swears it's her secret sauce. Now here's the big one I warned you about, dodging bad habits. Remember Tom from the intro? At 79, he smoked like a chimney, thought it was too late to quit. But those cigarettes caught up fast, lung trouble hit, and he was gone before we knew it. It's a gut punch, and so avoidable. Smoking's a killer, heart, lungs, you name it. Booze too. My buddy Hank, 77, loved his nightly whiskey, but it trashed his liver and sleep. Cutting back helped him feel human again. And sleep? Don't skimp. Poor rest messes with your head and heart. I've been there. Late night TV left me foggy. A quiet room, no caffeine late, and I'm out like a light. Ditch the junk, stay hydrated. It's never too late to turn it around. So wrapping up, these years past 75? They're ours to shape. George is hiking again, Rose is glowing, and we can too. Move a little, eat smart, stay connected, plan your pennies, check your health, think bright, skip the bad stuff. It's not just adding years, it's adding life to them. I hope you'll try these out. Let me know in the comments what you're starting with, or share your own tips. If you enjoyed this, hit like and subscribe for more goodies on staying strong and happy as we age. Thanks for hanging out with me today, means the world. See you next time, friends, stay well.